Hey guys, I'm Hellhound, and welcome to my Midnight Spook Show here on the Horror Metal channel. I just saw the new Halloween, and wow, did it blow me away. It was so good. It exceeded my expectations, and then some. Like, wow, that is how you make a horror movie. Before I get right into it, two quick announcements, very brief. Earlier today, I did do a live stream with Sean Urshan on his channel. If you've been watching my channel, you should know who that is. If you aren't familiar with his channel, do yourself a favor and check it out. I'll provide a link in the description. Subscribe to him. Check out his videos. Be sure to check out that live stream we did earlier. It was his fourth live stream, and I was a special guest on there, so it was really fun. It was really great to be there. We talked about the new Halloween film, our expectations for it. Neither one of us had seen it at that point. Now we've both seen it. Now he'll be doing a reaction video soon, so look out for that as well. So yeah, we talked about that. We talked about metal. We talked about all kinds of great topics. It was a really fun discussion. It was a really fun time. I can't wait to do it again. And second announcement is I'm gonna be a guest on the upcoming horror hangout, which consists of Sean Urshan, Bronco Juggalo, Lisa Loves, Movie Massacre, Horror Digest, and a few others, and I'm going to be the special guest. It's going to be their second live stream, I believe, second or third. I think they're second. It's going to be their Halloween one, which is awesome, so I'm going to be a special guest on that. Really looking forward to that. That's also going to be on Sean Urshan's channel, so look forward to that on the 21st. So mark your calendars, be there. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a good time. So yeah, that's all on Sean Urshan's channel, so check his channel out, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's get right into it. Halloween. Wow. Now I don't want to give away any spoilers. This video will contain minor spoilers here and there, nothing major. I'm really afraid I'm going to leave something out, so oh gosh, let's just get right into it. Okay, yeah, basically, as you already know, this movie ignores all the other sequels. This is a part 2 to the first movie. This is the continuation of the first movie, and it's 40 years later. Now, me and some other people were worried that it was going to be too much like H2O. 20 years later, you know, Laurie Strode faces Michael Myers, a man from her nightmares who massacred her friends, decades later. I'm happy to report this movie was nothing like H2O. Absolutely nothing like it. Laurie Strode felt like a totally different character. If you think she was paranoid in H2O, by the way, you haven't seen anything yet. I mean, wow. She was like agoraphobic, survivalist, everything. Yeah, it was awesome. I think this was her best performance in a Halloween movie. This is her 5th Halloween movie so far. She was in the first 2, H2O Resurrection, and this one. Because, the first movie, honestly, yeah, that was a great performance. It really, she didn't really have a lot to do. It was a good role, but in this one, she had so many layers to her character. There was so much to it. We saw the struggle she went through. We saw the pain she felt. We sympathized with her. We kind of saw her family's point of view, how they thought she was too paranoid and kind of pushed her away and stuff. So we saw all sides of it. We saw the emotional damage Myers inflicted on her. We saw her tortured side. We saw her vulnerable side. We saw her badass, strong heroine side. She had a Sarah Connor vibe going on here. So there's so many different dimensions to her character. And I gotta say, she's always been my favorite final girl. She's always been my favorite female protagonist in a horror film. But this one really sealed the deal. It really made me have no doubt. Because it was always kind of between her and Nancy Thompson from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. This movie cemented her as my #1 favorite, like by far. Wow. I've never seen a movie like this. This is the first Halloween movie that felt totally different from the others. It was a fresh and interesting take on the Michael Myers character, but at the same time, it was respectful and totally faithful to the character. Now, in the very first movie, as you know, my favorite thing about it is that Michael Myers is totally unrelatable. He lacks a conscience. We don't know why he's evil. We don't know why he does the things he does. He has no conscience. He's completely void of any emotion. The sequels, I feel like, kind of messed that up. Now Halloween 2, not so much, but I feel like Halloween 2 kind of focused on him a little too much. This was the first movie of Michael Myers where I saw he was really mysterious and kept in the shadows, and we didn't see too much of him, and his kills were brutal. Like, they balanced that perfectly. The gore in this movie and the kills and the blood were not done in a cheesy, cartoonish way. They were done in a very realistic, very disturbing manner. And it was pretty scary. It was a genuinely scary movie. I mean, there was none of the jump scares really got to me, but I think I'm just so jaded from that. The girl that I went to see it with, she's a good friend. She loves horror as much as I do. We've been watching horror movies together for like 15 years. We've been friends for a long time. She jumped a lot, so the jump scares got her each time. I think I'm just a little too sensitive desensitized to them myself. I'm kind of always expecting them, but yeah, a few scenes did kind of, yeah, a few scenes I did say I was like, wow, that's genuinely scary, and there was people in the theater that kind of screamed a little bit. Usually movies about just a serial killer, I think it's really hard to make them scary, but this movie definitely did. I think this is definitely the scariest since the original. And guys, I gotta say, it really pains me to say this. At this point, I think I like this one better than Halloween 4. I know, it's blasphemy, it's sacrifice. I still love Halloween 4. It's got Dr. Loomis in it. This movie doesn't have Dr. Loomis, so it doesn't really feel like a complete Halloween movie without him. But obviously, they couldn't have him in for very obvious reasons. Don Pleasant's no longer with us. Even if they had the character played by another actor, he'd be way too old. It wouldn't work. So yeah, really, a proper Halloween movie should have Loomis, but this movie, honestly, didn't really need that type of character. There was a Loomis-like character in it, kind of a Loomis wannabe, kind of a, a substitute Loomis, or so I thought. There was actually an interesting twist with his character that I did not see coming. It brought a whole new level to the franchise. I was like, wow. Wow, was that out of nowhere. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to try as hard as I can to not spoil anything about this movie. It'll be just like my Infinity War review, where I didn't spoil anything. This was the best movie of 2018 so by far. I've seen all the movies that I had a big list. I saw each and every one of them. I think Infinity War was probably the best so far. This movie blew it out of the water. I know what you're thinking. You're a horror fan. Of course you're going to say the horror movie was better than the comic book superhero movie. No, I like comics and superheroes almost as much as I like slasher villains, but this movie was on another level. Do I have any complaints? Well, not really. I really have nothing bad to say. I guess, early on I was thinking, like I had a few questions. I was like, why'd they transfer Michael Myers to another hospital so close to Halloween? But there was a few things like that, plot convenience, but we wouldn't have had a movie without some of these things, some of these occurrences that happened and didn't really feel very realistic. It's kind of like, it wouldn't have happened that way. But again, you have to let some of these things go in a movie. And I also had the question, why didn't Laurie Strode move far away? But they had an answer for that, and it's gonna get you. When their answer's revealed that one, it's gonna blow you away as much as it did me. I'm not gonna spoil it, and I've already kind of said too much already. Nope, lips are sealed. I'm not going into that. But yeah, basically it was her daughter and her granddaughter. They were kind of the main characters. And yeah, her family was kind of estranged from her. They thought she was too paranoid and obsessive. So it was an interesting dynamic. It was interesting to see her with that. It's funny how in all the different timelines, she's always had different kids. Jamie Lloyd played by Danielle Harris in 4, 5, and 6. And then, what's his name? Josh? I don't even remember. I don't remember her kid's name in H2. I'm sorry. Josh Hart. Was Josh Hartnett the name of the actor? What was the character's name? I'm sorry. I don't know. It escapes me, though. I'm too excited. I'm too pumped. I'm just pumping with adrenaline right now. And then this one, she has a daughter named Karen and a granddaughter named Allison. So it's funny how she has different kids in each timeline. But yeah, I really liked that. I really liked them, too. They were great characters. The Loomis substitute was a good character. They even had kind of a Sheriff Brackett substitute in there, too. And another thing in this one, I really didn't know who was going to live and die. Like, there were some characters I thought might have made it to the end, and there was some that I thought might have died. Yeah, I really didn't know. This movie kept me, I kept second-guessing myself the whole time. There was a few twists and turns I saw coming. There was a few things that I thought were obvious, but it kept me on my toes throughout, and I was glued to the screen. I couldn't get enough of it. Michael Myers has done extremely well. Nick Castle, who played him in the original, played him once again here, as well as another guy. There was another actor who played Myers, and I'm not sure which scenes that was. Michael Myers spent a good part of the first, like, the beginnings of the movie unmasked, though it never really did show his face too much, like in close. Was never a clear shot of his face, like, full on. So I'm not sure if that was the other actor playing him there or what. I don't know which actor played what part, but yeah, they kept him in the shadows. He was mysterious. There's a part where he's chasing this kid, and there's a motion detector going off, and it's almost like whenever Michael Myers moves, he doesn't set the motion detector off. I love that. That's what I love about the character. He's like an unstoppable, almost supernatural force. And there's even some characters in this movie who address that. They're like, no, he's just a normal guy. He's a normal human. He's just a psychopathic killer. And then the movie plays on that. The movie basically comes out and says, no, he's more than that. He's not just a typical homicidal mental patient. He's much more than that, and boy is he. I'm not going to give away the ending at all. I'm not going to go into the climax, but man, did it have me. It just man, it just tore me up. mashed me up into a ball and threw me across the wall. Like, it was just like, man, wow, that climax. Boy, I was on the edge of the seat. I had no idea what was going on. I was just so into it. Usually when me and this girl go to see movies together, we kind of talk a little bit throughout it. Neither one of us said a word. We were totally in awe of what was happening on the screen. I also loved all the nods and the homages to the original Halloween. They mentioned the Lonnie character, the little kid who Dr. Loomis scares in the first one. They mentioned Dr. Loomis quite a bit. There's even a recording, supposedly by Loomis, from another actor, and he does an admirable Donald Pleasance impersonation. I thought that was cool. They talk about the ending of the first movie. They didn't show any clips. They didn't show a recap of the first movie. I was kind of hoping they would do that, kind of like Texas Chainsaw 3D did at the beginning, but it didn't really need one. I kind of would have liked to know a little more what happened right after Myers was shot 6 times and fell out the window and was subsequently captured and incarcerated. I kind of would have liked to know that, but yeah, everything was kept mysterious and subtle and like very like simple. It had that same feel that the original had, that mysterious tone where like Myers was just unrelatable and just came out of nowhere. You never knew where he was. There was also a reference to the Elrods, who were he's seen in part 2. I mean, there was Halloween masks that looked like the main 3 masks in Halloween 3. They had a freaking Halloween 3 reference in this. I mean, how cool is that? There were several homages to other films in the series, and especially the first movie. This is the follow-up. Now, as I said in my earlier live stream with Sean Urshan, again, that's on his channel, I said, no matter how much I like this movie, the original Halloween 2 from 1981 will always be the true follow-up, because it fits so well the continuity of the first one. It's a companion piece to it. Man, I don't know. Now I'm thinking, I kind of want this one to be canonical. I mean, pretty much they're in separate universes. This, I was going to say this one's kind of a what-if scenario, but pretty much no matter what, whichever one I'm watching, that's the one's canonical. But man, I kind of want this one to be, the true continuation, as much as I adore Halloween 2. Now, where I rank this one in the franchise, again, I kind of liked it better than 4. It pains me to say that. It's definitely either the third place after the first 2, or maybe even in second place. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I haven't cemented that yet. When it sinks in and when the dust settles, when the smoke clears, maybe I'll rank Halloween 2 over this one. I have much more sentimental, nostalgic attachments to that one, obviously. I love that movie so much, and it's a perfect follow-up. It takes place right after the first film. It's a direct continuation, whereas this was 4 years later, so it's like, I don't know. But this one, yeah, it was great. I love how they retconned the whole sister thing. I never cared for the fact that Michael Myers and Laurie Strode were siblings. I always thought that kind of undermined the scariness of the character. Basically, if you're not related to him and stay out of his way, you're safe. I never liked that. And then, like in Resurrection, he kills his sister, then he's done. Then he just walks away. Nah, I think it makes him scary. He targets random victims. And one scene of this movie, they say all he does is keep moving and keep killing, and that's exactly what he does. He just kills random people. If you're unlucky enough to be there, you kill him. With Jason and Leatherface, you stay out of their territory. Don't go to where they're at, and you're safe. With Freddy, if you're not offspring of the parents who burned him, or you don't live in Springwood, or you keep yourself awake, or make yourself not have dreams of drugs or something, you're safe. With Michael Myers, nobody's safe. He comes to you, and there's so many scenes where he just seems unstoppable. Now, when this movie was in production, they revealed that he was going to be less immortal this time, and less unstoppable, and more human. I didn't see that. There was a lot of dialogue with the characters who they tried to say he's just a human, he's just an ordinary guy, or not an ordinary guy, but like he's just insane. That's all. He hasn't uttered a word in so long. There's this one character who's really obsessed with him, and he really wants to hear him talk, and it's so interesting. They never give in to that. Rob Zombie's movies were so overblown and in your face and loud and no subtlety at all. This one was subtle and violent and brutal. Rob Zombie's movies didn't have a good balance. The tone was all over this place. This movie knew exactly what it wanted to be, and it delivered on every front. Again, yeah, just some minor complaints, I guess. If I had to be fair, some of the dialogue between the younger characters, the teenagers in high school, they were kind of annoying, but that probably is how a lot of them really talk. Also, there seemed like there was a lot of forced comedy in there. A lot of the jokes got a laugh out of me. It wasn't overdone with the comedy, like a lot of modern movies these days. The Predator, like a lot of the Marvel movies have like a lot of comedy, but they're comic books. Hello, it's supposed to be funny. And this one, yeah, there were some scenes where it kind of seemed like they were trying really hard to be funny. I mean, it was written by Danny McBride, after all, the comedian, which, wow, he really outdid himself. I had no idea he was capable of this. So yeah, there was some things like that in it. Also, I noticed early in the movie there was too many close-up shots where every character and every actor was way up close like this, and like it kept like there was always zooming in. You could see it at the characters' noses, and it was always like zooming in everywhere and in and out. Like everything was up close and. They do that a lot in movies nowadays. That kind of got annoying, but they kind of did away with that. I feel like that was just kind of the beginning of the movie. They kind of stopped doing that after a while, so it's fine. I don't mind. But other than that, the camera work and the cinematography were great. The acting was great all around. Again, there were some annoying teenage characters, but that's okay. There was annoying teenagers in the original too. Yeah, the kills were great. Michael Myers was done perfectly, flawlessly. I have no complaints about the way his character does. If you noticed my reviews and the Halloween reviews, I pretty much judge each movie on how Michael Myers is portrayed. The things going on around him can definitely detract from the movie as well, but usually what makes a great Halloween movie is if they do the character justice, and this movie definitely did. They definitely understood the character. They knew what made him so scary, but they brought some fresh spins on him as well. And like he was just so cold and just so emotionless. There were so many scenes where he was in danger, and he just had that blank. I mean, he was wearing the mask, but his expression, his demeanor was just so blank and expressionless. It was just like there's nothing there. There's nothing behind the mask. There's nothing behind those eyes. And another interesting thing is Laurie's character. Her dynamic is so interesting. She was just as interesting as Michael Myers, and a great protagonist. They had a dynamic between both of them. And there's an interesting part of this Dr. Loomis type character is going on this long monologue, kind of reminiscent of the whole Blackest Eyes dialogue that Dr. Loomis said in the original, but he's actually talking about Laurie. So I thought that was interesting. So yeah, they brought so many new things to the table. And it was nothing like anything I've ever seen in a Halloween movie before. It's totally different. They even opened with the classic credits with the pumpkin coming towards you. I was hoping they did that. I think I even mentioned that in my trailer reaction. I hoped that they would bring back the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern in the opening credits. And they did, and the text even looked just like the original. Yeah, they should have had a different title, though. Like, I hate that they just called it Halloween. Like, how lazy. Like, really, just call it Halloween. They suck at coming up with titles now, like with Rambo and Rocky Balboa, and just so many stupid titles. They can't come up with a good title. They should have called Halloween Returns, Halloween the Next Chapter, call it something. So yeah, I'm not going to take points off of the movie for that, but really, give it a damn title. It's so silly. Now we have 3 different movies called Halloween, so it's always going to be, which one are you talking about? Oh god, I have to say the year. I hate doing that. You should have given it a title. But again, it doesn't detract from the actual movie at all. But it's kind of weird. In this continuity, there's Halloween from 1978, then 4 years later, there's the sequel, Halloween. It's like, okay, Halloween, followed by Halloween. Think of it with The Thing that came out in 2011. It's a prequel to the 80s, The Thing, which is called The Thing. It's stupid. Come up with a title. But, oh well, as I said, that doesn't take any away from me of it. What else do I gotta say? I'm really afraid I'm gonna leave something out. I'm getting really tired, but I'm just exhausted. I was pumped with adrenaline all day. I was so excited, and I was just blown away in the theater. Dr. Guts saw it as well. He saw it last night. He told me how good it was, and he was right. He was absolutely right. I really have nothing bad to say about it. All the qualms that I had are just minor gripes. I give it a 10 out of 10. I think this movie is perfect. It's right there with the best of them. It's definitely in the top 4. 1, 2, 4, and this one. Like, again, I haven't figured out the order yet. I don't know whether this one fits in. It might be my second favorite next to the original. It might end up being the second best. Nothing's ever going to top the original, but as for whether this one's better than 2 or 4, I haven't fully decided yet. But once I think about it more, once it sinks in, it might be my second favorite next to the original. I mean, who knows? It felt like a great continuation. It felt like there's a lot of respect done. It had the feel of other movies in the series, but at the same time bringing something totally new. Oh, and another thing is you really felt the Halloween spirit. A lot of people have kind of a minor gripe about the original. You don't really feel the tone of the Halloween season was kind of missing. The leaves on the ground. Pretty much it just looked like there was a jack-o'-lantern on every house, and there wasn't really a whole lot of a Halloween vibe to it. This one really had that. It had the full trick-or-treat vibe, the leaves on the ground, jack-o'-lanterns everywhere, people trick-or-treating, people talking about Halloween, people playing pranks. It really felt like Halloween. The Halloween party, the costume party, that's something that, one of Rob Zombie's movies had that, but something I'd like to see, would have wanted to see in a proper Halloween movie. I guess they had something like that in part 6 too. But yeah, it was really cool here. Yeah, wow, brutal kills. Great characters, fully fleshed out. Especially Laurie and her family, her clan were good. Characters I didn't know they'd live or die. Gosh, I hope I don't leave anything out because there's so much I want to say. But this reaching the 20-minute mark, so I'm gonna go and try to wrap this up. If I forget anything, I'll have to mention in another video. Maybe I'll do a spoiler video soon. Not tonight, but maybe tomorrow or something, I'll do a video that does contain spoilers, and I'll get into what I think about the ending or all the twists and turns that it took and some of the things that they took liberties with. Overall, I gotta say, this was really, really good. They really understood and respected the Myers character, unlike some people. Rob Zombie. And sorry, Rob Zombie fans, I mean, to each their own. If that's what you like, that's fine. If you like the Rob Zombie movies, I totally understand that. That's totally fine. There's some people who don't appreciate subtlety and simplicity and like the more loud stories that are being more spelled out, the over-the-top gore and the explosive action and people cussing and dropping F-bombs every 5 seconds and just the filthiness. People like that. That's fine. If that's your thing, as you like. To me, I think Halloween should be a little more classier, a little more sophisticated, just more well done, and treated with more respect and dignity. And this movie definitely delivered that. Well, yeah, I really have nothing bad to say about it. Just minor gripes, annoying characters, some plot convenience, but just minor. That's what they are. They're minor. They're not even really complaints at all. They're just things that I thought of when I was watching it. I didn't give it a second thought. I just enjoyed the ride. I loved it. It was thrilling. It was entertaining. It was action-packed, and it was really subtle and just so well done. The suspense was great. The scares were great. The kills were great. It was just all around perfect. I have nothing bad to say about it. Wow, that movie delivered. That's how you make a horror movie. This needs to start a new trend. When a horror movie has too many sequels and the franchise has gone sour, you don't need to start over and start from scratch and pretend that the original doesn't exist. This is what you should do. Respect the original, bring it back, do a direct continuation, bring it back to the sequels. Sequels will always be better than remakes to me. I don't want to watch a movie that doesn't pretend the original doesn't exist. I want to watch a movie that respects the original and holds it up on a pedestal and brings something new to it and brings new twists and turns and makes it fun again and makes me remember what I loved so much about it to begin with and what drew me to it. And that's exactly what this one did. Delivered on all fronts. Alright guys, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching. Check out Sean Urshan's reaction video. I'm sure he's making one soon if he hasn't already. Check out that earlier live stream he did earlier and be there for the 21st. I'll be part of the horror hangout. Again, that's on Sean Urshan's channel. I'll send a link in the I'll put a link in the description. I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching the Midnight Spook Show here on the Horror Metal channel. Go see the new Halloween. You're going to love it. If I left out anything, I'll get to it later. See you later, guys. Peace.